Madam Chancellor, co-speakers on the podium, distinguished guests, excellencies of the diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. At the outset, I wish to congratulate the graduating students in particular, and all the students who are associated with Greenwich University. I have been tasked today to speak to you, more particularly the graduating students, about the role that you are expected to play in the context of your country, Pakistan. The theme of the event tonight has to be the theme for the rest of your life, which is Pakistan. You can never dissociate yourself from the fundamental of the fact that you belong to this country. Patriotism is something which is loosely defined as a passion that you have for the country where you are born. And for that, you need to have a sense of responsibility, a deep and a remarkable sense of belongingness to the place that you are associated with. What has happened is that if you look at history, patriotism was never considered a civic duty. At least until the 18th century, most of the Europe looked at patriotism as an aberration to the commitment people had to have to the church or the state. So it's a concept that developed over a period of time, and it ultimately got confused with nationalism. Now I want you, particularly my young students, to have a very clear view of these two concepts. They are not synonymous, they are neither contradictory, but they have got different connotations altogether. Patriotism is a passion that stems out of your love for your country. It is based on principles of freedom, equity, liberty, and fraternity. While if you look at nationalism, nationalism is a contrary subject to it in the sense that you consider my country, our country, to be better than others. The moment you do that, then you get into an adversarial position. Now you're competing with the rest of the people to prove that you are better. Now, in order to be a patriot, my dear boys and girls, you don't have to make mankind your enemy. You can still be friendly with the rest of the world and still be extremely patriotic. So what does it mean? It means that you are committed to your motherland. Oh, I've used the word motherland. Now, there are certain countries that do not call their countries as motherland. They call it the fatherland, like Germany does. Now, I invite your attention, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it very lovely, really, conceptually speaking, that we should call Pakistan our motherland? Because what does it do? First and foremost, the honorific title of a mother is bestowed. So we consider the country to be our mother. And as soon as you use the word mother, what does it signify? What does it tell us? That a mother gives unconditional, undiluted, unalloyed love to all her children without favor, distinction, or fear. So consequently, the country gives you that. As against, okay, it doesn't mean that fathers don't love their countries. It's only that fathers are supposed to be more serious about business, and therefore the emotional attachment that you develop out of a motherland concept is greater. So we should be proud of the fact that we refer to our country as motherland. I would also like to tell you that the benefit of remaining committed to your own country is extremely crucial, because we live in an interdependent and interconnected world. At the start of the proceedings today, ladies and gentlemen, we all observed a minute's silence for the many martyrs in the Middle East, particularly the Gaza Strip. I would like to address my young students out here. There is a lesson for all of us there. And let's be mindful of what the lesson is. That in your struggle, you are alone. You are alone. You have to look after yourself. And how do you look after yourself? You look after yourself only through the means of being economically strengthened nation. If we are weak economically, then we are dependent. Let the dependence be of a different nature, where there is interaction and interconnectedness between us and the world. But in the process, we must strengthen our own economic condition. If we remain dependent on handouts by international multilateral institutions or by friendly governments, then remember, as a nation, no matter how great a patriot you may be, but you shall remain weak in your resolve. In order for us to be standing up with respect in the comity of nations, it is extremely important that we derive ourselves first in economic strength, because that will allow us to have political strength. Bear that in mind. Also, patriotism is not something that is restricted to the fact that one has to make an announcement of it. One does not have to make a pronouncement of it. A patriot is a given thing, and patriotism is a given thing. Nobody is less patriotic in this country, and nobody is more patriotic. We all are. We love our country. Let there be no doubt in our minds about that fact, because we have referred to a mother. And who is here that would dare to say that I do not love my mother? So let's be very clear about it. All population of Pakistan is a patriotic population that merely needs direction. That's about it. Talent that's available in this country is something that you must utilize for your country. It is extremely easy for politicians to be claiming and pounding their rostrums and saying with a clenched fist that we have a population that is 65% below the age of 35. Great potential, you are indeed. But what's the preparation to utilize this potential? That is something that the economic managers of this country have to think 30 years from now. Can we as a nation visualize what would the 20-year-old boy look like in 2047 when this country will, inshallah, be celebrating its 100th anniversary? And please bear in mind, while you're thinking about that, that child has still not been born, because you're sitting in 2023. You're talking of a child that will be born in 2027. Nations, patriots plan much ahead. And in doing so, they indulge in self-denial. They believe in sacrifice. Sacrifice is something that gave us Pakistan. My dear boys and girls, do you read history? If you don't, please brush off all the dust that has gathered on your history books. Look at those blood-soaked pages of history and see what price the country had to pay in terms of bloodletting to get this beautiful country called Pakistan. The unimpeachable integrity of our leader, the founder of Pakistan, Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He fought tooth and nail against the machinations and diabolical intrigues of the trio of Nehru, Gandhi and Mountbatten and created Pakistan for us. Aren't we more appreciative today of the country that we have, alhamdulillah, looking at our neighbor where Muslims and other minorities are being persecuted by the Modi government? I do not wish to sound political, but I just want to remind you of the importance that you need to have vis-a-vis your love for your country. Nelson Mandela once remarked and said that I never wake up a sleeping man. Somebody asked him, and why do you do that? Why not? He said, I do not wish to wake up a sleeping man because maybe he's dreaming of independence. And here we have it. Let's value it. So patriotism does what? It places upon each one of us, and particularly you, a deep sense of responsibility. Now, I cannot get into much of details, but due to paucity of time, I would like to enlist for you certain aspects that you must remember and bear in mind while you are pursuing yourself. There is no harm in life to seek material gains. But in doing so, you cannot be compromising certain aspects of life. Always bear in mind and always pay attention to the fact that you have to have respect. Respect is something that patriotism gives you automatically. Protect it, secure it. Respect can never be demanded. It has to be commanded. And how do you command respect? You command respect through character. And how do you get character? You get character by having inside you the highest degree of honesty, truthfulness, righteousness, and a non-negotiable sense of integrity. And when I use the word integrity, I include it on a wholesome basis, not just financial integrity. It is also a matter of social integrity. It is also a matter of political integrity. It is also a matter of intellectual integrity. We have to be honest in all respects. And honesty is a trait that cannot be measured. It is either there or it is not there. So let's first conclude to our own selves how honest we are in terms of our service to the country. I invite you, thank you. Boys and girls, I invite you to the fact that I want you to be successful in life. That's my prayer. And I think that's a prayer of everybody sitting out here. But have a purpose in life. Let that purpose have some cornerstones to it. For example, there must be a moral purpose. There must be a spiritual purpose. Morality and spirituality gives meaning and life to purpose. So whatever you do, do it for a noble cause. Do it for a noble purpose. Earn a lot of money, no harm. But do not hoard money. Do not hoard knowledge. Never hoard anything. Give, earn and give, earn and give. That should be your principle of life. Create the right balance sheet of your life, which is a perfect balance between your moral balance sheet and your material balance sheet. Because please do remember, any imbalances you have in your moral and material balance sheet of life, then you would automatically walk into the path where you will wreck your life. Now, on a final word, and I have always used this podium to say that, and this is particularly addressed to the crowd out here. I can see from here, from this distance, an amazing smile that is dancing on the faces of your parents who are sitting out there. Please do not think, or even imagine to take off that smile from their faces. Keep it intact. I wish to acknowledge the proud parents here, and I wish to congratulate you for having, I wouldn't use the word investment because that demeans the purpose, for having given you, your offspring, an opportunity to excel in whatever they wish to do with their lives. And I also wish to acknowledge with a deep sense of gratitude personally as well, because I have been associated in one manner or the other with this university. I want to thank the Asatizah sitting out here who have made and produced this boisterous youngsters into young adults. I would like to conclude by altering Napoleon's words to suit my purpose, to create that emphasis in your mind, my dear boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen who are sitting out here. With all thy faults, I love thee, Pakistan. God bless you all.